Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. You know what? Flash played. This is Flash. And you know that we're going to be casting Flash. He played against JyJ. And he played against JyJ 5 times. So I'm definitely going to cast some number of those. JyJ, of course, a pretty recent ASL champion. You know, obviously Solkio won the last 2 seasons, but I believe JyJ won the season before that over Mind. And, you know, I feel like JyJ and Royal are kind of like semi-forgotten champions, right? Because they kind of one and done it and didn't do that well afterwards. But I want to mention that, like, I'm quite a fan of JyJ's play. I think that the way JyJ approaches this game is incredibly good. Like, he's very, very solid macro. He does a lot of, like, pressuring things. I think he's very smart. Like I've mentioned before, I think he has at least as good SK Terran as Light, which I like. Light is as good at that as Flash. Okay, so it's really saying something. And I do want to mention also, right? Like, I love Royal. I watch Royal and I study some things that Royal does, but I feel like JyJ's victory is a lot more impressive in ASL than Royal's. And that is not to take away from him. I mean, you win a tournament, then you win the tournament, and you're deserving of huge, huge respect. But Royal's run was mostly Royal sniping Zergs with really tight builds. He, like, basically didn't play against any Protoss players. JyJ had to show the full range of matchups. Like, he really... It was a difficult run that he had to go through. So, for me, it's, like, a better championship. So, I'm very excited to see how Flash will approach this. We've seen some Terran versus Terrans out of Flash, notably against Light and Rush, who are basically considered the best 2 Terrans while Flash is away. And JyJ, I'd probably put 3rd after them. Which is kind of funny, right? Because people might be like, well, didn't JyJ win? What's Rush up to, right? Like, but Rush top 4 is like every time. It's not just about the tournament wins, right? You can win a tournament and not, like, you can call someone the best player for winning a tournament, but it doesn't actually mean that their skill level is the highest, right? Like, crazy things can happen. Right? If someone Snow barely beat somebody and then died in PvP and then you win the tournament because of that, because he beat the best person, the best Terran, right? Think about it that way. It's like crazy things can happen with matchups. You know, definitely people can take risks and get lucky in certain games and whatnot. Anyways, enough of that. Let's take a look at what these builds are. It looks like Flash is going with a factory expansion. He does have the forward 11 racks, so he's scouting with this Marine. We have 1 Marine for JyJ here, who also looks to be going for a factory expansion. So, yeah, that Marine comes in. Oh, my God. Flash got the first shot. It's such a big deal if you get the first shot. Seriously. Because then it's like your opponent has to bring something else. Oh, he got the first shot there. Oh, I guess it didn't. No, I guess he didn't. What the hell? Oh, you know what? When the Marine turned around, I think 1 extra shot was had by this Marine. Now, second Marine comes up from Flash, so he does get 1, and he's causing some lost mining time. He's forcing that to run back, and he's slowing down the command center. So this all turns out to be very, very good for Flash. Yeah. That's a much quicker command center, as you can see. It's not end of the world, but it's just something to note, right? Like, that forward 11 racks is a very, very good build. It can get, like, if they go double proxy center racks or something like that, then it can become kind of bad. Now, the Vulture comes out, and he did get some damage on this Marine. Not enough to one-shot it with the Vulture, so that's unfortunate. But Vulture sitting in front there for Flash, so that if his opponent does dive with a Vulture, he will lose it. But a second Vulture coming, so we might see the dive there. But nope, second Vulture for Flash. So Flash is being very, very careful about this. This is like a really important thing, is when you get that add-on. But the Barracks sees the second Vulture, so he doesn't go. And he is making a third Vulture. So the third Vulture will come, and the Barracks will see if there's a third Vulture, and there is, right? So you can see there's a lot of back and forth here. If Flash had added the add-on at any time, JyJ would go. But it's 3 versus 3, right? Like, JyJ is getting huge information here. And he knows that he should not be going yet. 4th Vulture on the way, because Flash just... he sees the add-on now, so that's where you can put your add-on. Because it's like, okay, you know, we're going to be on basically the same amount of Vultures. No damage can happen, so add-on plus add-on. Lands his Barracks here just to watch things. And Flash makes a big mistake coming up the ramp. Ooh, yeah, JyJ should follow. He has a little window here to get some good damage. Yeah, I think this is perfect from JyJ. Well, not exactly perfect. He could micro just slightly better there, but that's okay. Does a great job. Flash was poking up this ramp to see if he could come over and see what could be done. But yeah, that first volley did a huge job. 8 vultures. I mean, 8 vultures, single shots of vulture, and then so 4 double shots, right? So if you get the first like volley, it's huge, right? Because you kill one and then you still have 4 vultures. Now, especially if you're on the high ground there, they're missing shots, so it can get even worse. Now, a siege tank coming out for both sides. I think after they had that little engage, they both realized that they could sneak out a siege tank, and that's going to add... Basically, once the siege tank is out, you're not going to be able to really kill each other, not realistically. Wow, Flash going to lose an extra vulture here. Flash looking for some scouting intel, but definitely taking a lot of damage. Speed on both sides, and yeah, the siege tank is about to come out, but it's not out yet. Once his siege tank is out, and you can see, look at this barracks just destroy Flash. Okay, so he's going to target down the siege tank here of JyJ. SCV's coming because he knows this is a little bit rough. And Flash definitely taking this engagement better. You know, just targeting the siege tank with his own tank was very, very important. The fact that the thing is they're doing the same exact thing, and you see JyJ being aggressive. Part of the reason why he was able to be aggressive, first off, his factory was like, I think, just a few seconds faster. The right mineral patch is actually mined faster than the left when both are boosted properly. So that might have a part to do with that, but it did seem like he was just slightly ahead on vultures, like maybe 10 seconds ahead or something. And that can be for multiple reasons, like you can slow a vulture to hit a depot or something like that. But also this is screwing up the rallies, right? Because the units are coming out there and then having to go around. So that is messing it up. Great repair here from Flash, holding JyJ back. JyJ right now adding that fourth factory on the way, 5th factory on the way. He makes this one out of range of the barracks, right? So he doesn't want him to know. And in fact, but this one is as well. So JyJ doesn't technically see, and this is doing such a good job slowing things. He should lift it now, though, and figure everything out. And yeah, there's no additional factory here. So it's going to be 4 versus 5, which is Flash favored. Sorry, a little bit jerky there. But there is an armory on the way, right? So you might see JyJ pop out a couple Goliaths, like Goliaths can, in these early Vulture Wars, Goliaths do very well. But as the supply gets higher, they do become weaker. Okay, so some mines being laid out by JyJ. Flash coming across the map with a ton of vultures. And look at this siege tank. Oh my god, dude. Flash is so big brain. So yeah, there's those 2 Goliaths I was talking about. That's going to help him to actually hold on against these vultures. They do well at this stage in the game. But the big brain move we see from Flash is he literally just was like, there's no way you're laying mines down here. So he moved the siege tank all the way around the likely mine locations and sent it up and around a flank. Now, this isn't going to end up doing anything this time. If this was a pure Vulture War still, this tank would walk up and change the course of the game. In this particular case, because Goliaths and a tank were made, which I think is a great call here from JyJ, that isn't able to happen. But the thought process was there. So this was actually a huge, huge, huge move from Flash. I would be so pissed if that tank walked around and killed me like that. But it could have happened if he tried to stay on pure Vulture. So right now, these vultures just kind of rotating around. A lot of mines all over the place. You just have to be very careful here, especially as you're going uphill. You might get some missed shots if there's a bunch of mines here, and that can ruin everything. Yeah, Flash doing a good job kind of keeping his vultures on the edge. JyJ's starting to push. Both sides going for siege mode. Looks like Flash right now with 4 tanks. JyJ with 5 and 2 Goliaths. He is walking into a few mines here. As long as Flash sieges up, I think he's totally fine. But JyJ might get a better position. Well, actually, if he hits this right now with all his vultures as well, but Flash with the counterattack with vultures, look at this. Doing the counterattack is a big deal, and he's moving in at the same time with the rest of his forces to target down siege tanks. So he got a ton of SCVs. Flash has a huge SCV lead, but I don't know if that really is what matters most. Oh, oh God, if that had hit the tanks, that would make everything very different. But he's actually surrounding the tanks now. You know what? This is a Flash victory. He got so many SCVs there, and then he killed the tanks. Like, if he hadn't killed those tanks, if those tanks had been a bit more cost efficient, maybe this goes towards JyJ. But now JyJ is down 11 workers. And there's still mines all over the place. Siege mode goes up. He scans a little bit to see what's out here and to clear some mines. Laying some mines of his own. Actually, this is kind of a scary attack. But he does have a couple more tanks coming up. Oh, JyJ coming in with some tanks. Oh, he gets the mine. Now, hold on. I called this, and suddenly JyJ's push is pretty darn strong. Ugh. Very low on this tank. Flash comes out with a couple more. JyJ is pushing in. Yeah, you know what? Flash might just get overrun here. Oh my God. So, guys, what happened here was when Flash hit the counterattack, the thing is you have to look at it and say, okay, you're sacrificing army for economy, right? So he sacrificed like 12 vultures to kill a ton of SCVs, but those vultures get cleaned up basically for free, not killing any units. Look at how many vultures ahead. This is why JyJ won, is because he had the extra vultures. This was like basically all JyJ could do was hit this counterattack. So I think that Flash maybe came out a little bit too far. And like, I think the counterattack was fine once he cleared those tanks. If he had just massed up a little bit and made sure he had critical mass that something like this couldn't happen, then I think that's where he gets far ahead. And you can see he was getting ready. He's like, oh shit, this is bad. That's why you go double starport on 2 base. It's a terrible move, but sometimes you have to do it. Yeah, that was actually a really interesting one. Wow. Very nice turn of fates there from JyJ. Wow. Okay. GG. And thanks for watching. Ha! I tricked you. That was kind of a short one, so let's just go into another game here of Flash versus JyJ. Let me know in the comments below if you were not tricked and you actually saw that the video was longer and thus you stayed and found this hidden game. It's like a hidden track on the old cassette tapes. You guys remember those? Where you'd have to listen to like dead air for a while and there would be something hidden on there. Yeah, it's like one of those kind of. Anyways, yeah, we're on Polypoid now. We see Flash over here. His barracks near the ramp. This looks like, yeah, and with a 12 scout. This is going to be a gasless expand. But this is a forward 11 racks from JyJ. So forward 11 racks just in general is pretty good against gasless expand. You get to put a little bit of pressure on. And honestly, if you can make them come down and fight a little bit, it slows everything down for the build enough that you get a good edge. So Flash is actually scouting over here first. He actually gets very, very lucky to find this right away. As long, dude, if his SCV does not finish this, this is so unlucky by JyJ. This is insane how unlucky he is. His SCV just sat there the entire time. To be the greatest of all time, you need to have fucking RNG, SCV RNG on your side. That's exactly what would happen to me, except when I got mine off, it would have blown up. And you see Flash chasing that down. So that actually stalls this out significantly. Significantly. So Flash starts mining his own gas. Factory here on the way for JyJ, who hasn't actually scouted what's going on. But when the scout comes that quick, you're like, oh, he's trying to gasless expand because you 12 scout with that, which is the earliest scout that you get in this matchup. It's just very normal. It's very mapped out in that way. So he goes up here, gets hit by 2 Marines. There are more Marines on the way because Flash's build is a lot slower. He's probably going to have to make a bunker. And yeah, this factory, look at this. He's still harassing with this SCV. Just an insane SCV. Yeah, it looks like finally that will get caught. It is definitely not getting out of there. So JyJ has pulled back this scout. This SCV was just running away, so it didn't die. So he has 2 SCVs on the map that he's got to send back now. JyJ is up a worker, and now 2 factory for Flash. So this is 2 factory with nothing on gas. So what he's going to do is make some vultures and expand most likely. Now, there is a possibility he puts SCVs back on gas, but generally when you see it like this, it's just optimizing for minerals so that you can both put on pressure and expand. In the meantime, JyJ with a single vulture out goes add-on really quickly. That is a very, very fast add-on. Now, Flash's build is janky as hell. He needs to get something done with it. I think JyJ is going to pop out a tank, and he's just going to be ahead. Yeah, tank. So, like, if this was like a 2-factory build where he wasn't trying to go gasless first, then, like, he would 100% be able to go over here and do damage. Now, this being slower, it's like he just doesn't have enough to put on real pressure before the tank comes out. Because, see, look, this versus this barely wins. And he's got to wait for the Marines to walk all the way up there. And, in fact, you can see JyJ pulls back with his SCV, being very, very careful. And he's just going to wait for the tank. And, look, as the tank pops out, like, JyJ is so far ahead. But this command center is going to start. So there is some play here still for Flash. It's interesting that he went into the double factory play. I think he looked at this and just said, oh, man, if he puts pressure on me and I'm not going double factory here, I'm screwed. But obviously his build is a little bit behind right now. Keeps those 3 Vultures up at the front. He's just kind of ready to snipe things as they come up, right? Miss shot going to high ground. Like, these 3 Vultures could realistically, if this army attack moved, kill both the Marines and the Vulture, and probably you'd get away with 2 Vultures. Maybe if he didn't miss many shots, you get away with 1, but like that would be reasonable. With the second tank coming out, of course, that changes completely. JyJ attacking across the map. We do have more Vultures on the way as well as mines. The mine's absolutely not ready. Now, he has to counterattack because if this attack just hits his natural, he dies. He just doesn't have enough. He's trying to get up the ramp. He's trying to buy time here. In the meantime, still a tank is coming up. Flash, actually, if he knew this was coming, yeah, see, this is the issue. Those 2 running by actually basically is really, really bad. The 3 Marines and 2 Vultures actually can beat all this. The 2 Vultures target the Marines down quickly, then everything focuses on the tank. Now, he does lay down some mines, so that will damage a tank quite a bit. He has tanks popping out now himself. He's got to pull these SCVs, I think. Oh, God, with the mines going down, JyJ might just be able to push him back. This is turning very bad right now for Flash. Loses that tank. There's 2 tanks here that are badly hurt. Siege mode doesn't look like it's a thing here for Flash, whereas for JyJ it is. If JyJ sieges out of high ground siege range, yeah, Flash just GG's. Okay, well, that was a pretty quick 2-0, but that's enough StarCraft for real this time. GG, thanks for watching.